Patel. I am a second year student of the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering enrolled in its B.Tech course. I am a boarder of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Hall of Residence. I am from Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. I am contesting for the post of General Secretary, Social and Cultural, Technology Student Gymkhana, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur for the academic session 2019-2020.
Any questions on introduction? Any questions on introduction?
Soumya, can you let me know about the various specializations or courses offered by Metallurgical and Material Science Engineering Department?
Sir, as far as my knowledge, Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Department and Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur offers only one specialization, that is a dual degree of 5 years.
And what about the 4-year course? You haven't mentioned that. Isn't that offered?
Sir, you yourself are discrepancy your question as you only mentioned the specialization which are offered.
I also mentioned the number of courses and the specialization. So I covered
Just a single follow-up at one time. One follow-up panelist, it is for information that you can have only one follow-up for a particular question. Shall we start with the SOP panelists? Soumya, you can start your SOP.
A General Secretary, Social and Cultural, must be a dynamic leader and should be dedicated towards his duties. During my stay at IIT Kharagpur, my experience of participating in various activities has helped inculcate in me values such as leadership, time management and perseverance. In my first year, as an associate member for Spring Fest 2019, I, along with 2 other members, was responsible for publicizing the fest in the region of Madhya Pradesh and published 18 media articles contributing to widespread publicity of the fest. I was also part of the corporate communications team as my first time responsibility, wherein I alone was responsible for branding of over 20 companies at the time of fest. I was also attached to the Students' Alumni Cell as a phone-a-thon team member, wherein I alone was responsible for reconnecting 200 alumni back to the institute. I was also part of the Hindi dramatics team of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Hall of Residence in my first year. In my second year, as a core organizing team member for Spring Fest 2019, I worked on 3 projects, namely sponsorship, events management and publicity and marketing. On the events management front, I single-handedly conducted the nationwide prelims of 5 events, namely 2 for a Tango, SF Idol, Shake a Leg, Shuffle and Nukkad in Bhopal, which saw a remarkable participation of over 100 students. Also, I along with 1 other member conducted the first time ever nationwide prelims of 4 events in Patna, which saw a whooping participation of over 300 students. On the publicity front, I was the sole member responsible for publicizing the fest in Punjab and along with an associate member published 6 media articles towards widespread publicity of the fest. I increased the publicity and participation from Punjab by 24 times. I was also one of the coordinators responsible for drafting the Vani newsletter, which had a viewership of over 50,000 people. On the sponsorship front, I was the sole member responsible for sponsorship drive in the city of Bhopal and increased the sponsorship amount by 80%. I, along with my team members, carried out sponsorship drives in the cities of Mumbai, Kolkata and Bangalore. I individually garnered a sponsorship amount of INR 3.4 lakhs through corporate deals and alumni contributions. I was also one of the coordinators responsible for conduction of local sponsorship drives for the prom night event. At the time of fest, I was a part of corporate communications team, wherein I, along with 3 other members, co-led a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members towards branding of over 100 companies. part of illumination team of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Hall of Residence in my first and second year. I was also part of choreography team of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Hall of Residence in my second year. These experiences over the past 2 years have inculcated in me the confidence and zeal to contest for the post of General Secretary Social and Cultural. Thus, if elected, I would discharge my duties with full dedication and wholeheartedness.
So let's start with the questions.
Soumya, you mentioned that you are responsible for branding of 100 companies. How have you managed it?
Sir, if you would have listened to my statement of purpose carefully, I said that I led a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members towards branding of over 100 companies.
Soumya, since you have been a part of the Corpcom team for over 2 years, can you mention some of your new initiatives that you have taken, if any?
Sir, in my first year as a part of corporate communications team, I worked under the guidance of one co-organizing team member wherein I was responsible for branding of companies in Toad and rest of Kharagpur, wherein I was guided by my co-organizing team member to effectively brand various companies. In my second year, leading a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members, we effectively branded over 100 companies and we have received appreciation from most of the companies.
Soumya, you didn't listen to my question. The question was, what are the new initiatives that you have taken, not the same work that you have been assigned to do?
Sir, as I clearly mentioned in my previous answer, I worked under the guidance of one co-organizing team member towards branding of over 20 companies over various events, and also in my second year led a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members towards effective branding of all companies.
Soumya, you have said what you have done. You have not said what are the new initiatives you have taken.
Just last take on this, okay? We'll change the question after that.
Sir, in my second year, the new initiatives that were taken by me were new effective type of branding that was introduced this time in the fest. You can see by the type of branding that was introduced.
Soumya, you are part of corporate communication team. So, the welcome gate of Spring Fest is at SBI gate was put on Friday evening and Spring Fest started on Thursday evening. What's your say on this? Springfest gate at SBI was put up on Friday evening and Springfest already started at Thursday evening, and also on Friday morning gate was there.
Sir, I request you to not throw such fake allegations on Springfest. Sir, first of all, the permission for putting up the gate for Springfest was from Friday to Sunday, and that's why the gate was put up on Friday morning.
Soumya, this is not a false allegation. The steering committee members here and the heads here are aware of it.
I believe I was a part of corporate communications team and it was under my purview to put up the gate. So I was responsible for taking up the permissions for that gate.
Soumya, who were the G6 of alumni cell during your tenure as Phonothon member?
Sir, the General Secretaries of Alumni Cell during my tenure as a Phonothon team member were Mr. Bharat Chandra and Mr. Vishal Kumar Singh.
Soumya, you said you were a part of the choreography team of Triphuram Hall Residence this year. So, what were the standings in the choreography event and was there any load in these standings?
The standings for the choreography event for this year were: first position was Azad Hall of Residence, second position Rajendra Prasad Hall of Residence, and third position Radhakrishnan Hall of Residence. Whereas related to the chaos, there was as such no chaos related to choreography event.
Was there no penalty on any Hall of Residence?
Sir, I believe the penalty that was decided was totally up to the judge's discretion. That is also related to him.
Do you know? I know that, but do you know about it?
Aman, just one follow-up. Just a single follow-up question.
Soumya, enlighten some instances which shows your leadership skill.
I held various leadership roles during my tenure as a co-organizing team member for Springfest 2019, wherein I was a Wani coordinator, a local sponsored drive coordinator, as well as co-led a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members towards branding of over 100 companies.
Shagun, Soumya Patel, since you were responsible for the corporate communication part of the team SF in your first year as well, so can you just name the events which you looked after in your first year along with their associations and the sponsors in your first year? Yeah.
Sir, I believe this type of information is recorded in my diary and I can look it up and tell to you.
So you are contesting this post for the General Secretary just on the basis of the information which are written in your diary by yourself, right?
Sir, I believe I am not a database to remember such load of information.
Why was your publicity region changed from Madhya Pradesh to Punjab?
Sir, the change of publicity region in my second year was totally decided by the publicity head, combining with the fact that there was no other associate member or co-organizing team member responsible for the publicity of the fest in Punjab. And they interested in me, and I followed their investment in me by increasing the participation by 24 times.
Soumya, are you aware about any current office bearer who has been a part of the corporate communication team in his initial years of Springfest? Can you name at least one office bearer of Gymkhana who was a part of the corporate communication team in previous year of SF?
Yes, sir. Mr. Haswardhan Mittal was a part of corporate communications team in his first year in Springfest 2017.
So have you talked to him regarding the issues that he faced during his first year? And if you have done, so have you implemented any changes in your tenure? Basically, I would like to know about that.
Yes, sir. I have contacted the General Secretary Social and Culture about the issues that he faced during this tenure as a team of corporate communications team member, and we brought those changes in our tenure as a corporate communications team member and effectively branded the company.
Soumya, if you are such a good leader and you have so much of wonderful qualities, so why don't you contest for vice president?
Sir, if you would have listened to my introduction carefully, I mentioned that I am enrolled in the BTech course. This means that I am a 4-year student here at IIT Kharagpur, which means if I would have contested for the post of vice president, I would not be able to sit for placements. And moreover, I wanted to be a part of Springfest and be executive of head of Springfest.
So, Swami, since you have conducted the events of Kharagpur and 2 for a Tango, can you please enlist the rules of these events?
Sir, I believe I am not a database to remember all the rules of this. Still, if you want to know the rules, I have the rule book here. I can read it out to them.
Soumya, you have conducted the event, so you are supposed to take few rules without seeing the rule book. I suppose you have conducted the event.
Yes, sir. Thank you for acknowledging my conduction of event. And also, if you want to know the rules, they are mentioned in the rule book. You can have a look at them.
Soumya, you said you wanted to be General Secretary because you still want to be in SF and you wanted to be the executive head. Don't you want to look after General Championship and Inter-IT Social and Cultural?
Yes, sir. First and foremost priority of a General Secretary Social and Cultural should be taking care after the day-to-day running of the Gymkhana activities, and also he should be the executive head of Springfest.
Soumya, your all of residents invest a lot in the gardening event. So what is your stand in that? That money can be utilized in other social causes and better purposes.
Sir, thank you for acknowledging the fact that Pandit Madan Mohan Malvi Hall of Residence stood first in the gardening event. Also, I feel there is a need to preserve the culture of gardening in our society.
Recently, there was an event conducted at the occasion of Holi in the Triple M Hall, named as Mud Holi Tech. So I heard that the people who actually were visited Triple M Hall were playing Holi with the mud and not with the organic colors. So I just want to know the reason behind this. Like, why did you prefer organic colors over mud? Because mud could be harmful for the people, right? Organic colors are a better implementable solution, I would say. And there can be chaos while playing with the mud. So, what's your take on this?
I would like to bring to your consideration that the mud Holi event that was conducted in Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Hall of Residence was conducted in mud, and it was fully safely, and we have received no complaints regarding it.
Soumya, you are not a part of any of the society from your past 2 years. How will you manage the workings of society if elected for the post?
Sir, first of all, I would like to bring to your consideration that for contesting for the post of General Secretary, Social and Cultural, one should have a minimum academic experience of 2 years at Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, as well as I was a part of Spring Fest for my 2 years of stay at IIT Kharagpur, wherein I learned various event management skills. Apart from this, I have also met various society governors who have enlightened me with the workings of their society, which would help me in my tenure as a General Secretary, Social and Cultural.
Soumya, you have mentioned you have learned various team management skills. So just enlist few of them with the possible instances.
Sir, in my second year, I was a Vani coordinator, coordinating my core organizing team towards drafting of the Vani newsletter. Apart from this, I was also a local sponsorship coordinator, conducting local sponsorship drive for the prom night event. Also, I along with 3 members co-led a team of 3 associate members and 4 crew team members towards branding over 100 companies.
Soumya, if elected as a GSEC, you will be a part of several committees. Can you enlist them? All the committees.
Sir, first of all, thank you for considering me for the post of General Secretary, Social and Cultural. And if you want to know the name of the committee, I can surely tell you after my statement of purpose is over.
Soumya, is Bengali Dramatics still a part of the General Championship?
Sir, as per the new General Championship rule book, Bengali Dramatics is a part of Bengalika.
Soumya, wait. And do you know when is it going to be held?
Sir, at this point of time, I can't recall the dates, but I will get back to you after my statement of purpose is over.
Soumya, go with two more questions. We'll go with 2 more questions.
Soumya here. Can you please enlighten me in the validity of the IIT social certificates? I asked this question before also, but do you have any take on it? From the MHRD basically, whether it is recognized or not.
Sir, I believe that the Inter-IIT Cultural Meet certificate isn't recognized by the MHRD, but if elected as General Secretary, Social and Cultural, I put this point forward in the Dean's meeting and followed by the Directors meeting and try to get it assigned by MHRD.
Soumya, can you name the IIT Kharagpur community which works for the same social cause, which was the social cause of last Springfest edition?
Sir, at this point of time, I am not aware of this committee, but I will get back to you after my statement of purpose is over.
So you are saying that you are a part of Springfest team and you work for the social cause, yet you are unaware of the IIT Kharagpur's community which is working for the social cause?
Sir, I believe there are many communities in IIT Kharagpur and each of them has various work. But if you want to know its name, I will get back to you after my statement of purpose is over.
Soumya, you can take your seat. Thank you.
My first proposal is to introduce a social and cultural newsletter which would increase awareness among students about different social and cultural activities on the campus. In my second proposal, I have to introduce namely 2 events in the Open IIT, namely Mono Act and Stand-Up Comedy. And in my third proposal, I propose to initiate live streaming of all General Championship events which aims to increase participation and transparency in General Championship events.
So we can start with the questions. Panelists.
You have mentioned in your first proposal that the events have not been publicized by the institute media bodies and the TST website. Could you please tell me the 3 events which are not publicized? You're trying to undermine the work done by the institute media bodies through your proposal.
Ma'am, in this proposal, I am stating that I would introduce a social and cultural newsletter, and I am not blaming any of the media bodies present in the institute.
Have you not written that some of the events have not been publicized properly? Could you please state 3 events?
But ma'am, I would request you to refrain from making such allegations on me because I am not...
Please state 3 events.
Ma'am, please let me complete my answer. Ma'am, please let me complete my answer. Ma'am, I am stating that I am not blaming any of the media societies of IIT Kharagpur.
It is written in your proposal that a lot of events are not enlisted and mentioned in the social media, in the Awaaz and other social media networks.
Sir, I believe that by introducing such a social and cultural newsletter, I would give a biased opinion through the technology students Gymkhana.
Could you please state 3 events which are not publicized?
And for knowing those events, you can contact the Awaaz site.
Mention that some of the events are not publicized.
We'll have a single follow-up. Panelists, let's not believe that. We have a single follow-up. We have a single question at one time and we have a single follow-up. Bus.
Soumya, what is the necessity of this e-newsletter right now in the campus?
Sir, first of all, the necessities of the e-newsletter are that our institute has a variety of social and cultural activities throughout the years. There are also many outcomes of the events that did not get transmitted to all the students. I believe the introduction of such a social and cultural newsletter would bring about awareness among the students of IIT Kharagpur and also bring about a feeling of encouragement in them to participate in such events.
Soumya, your proposal which states that the live streaming of GC events, in that, have you considered the repercussion of the people who undergo depression and who would take this as an advantage to stay in their room and not come out of the room and not attend the GC events in live?
Sir, I believe we are looking at a totally different side of this proposal, but sir, by having a look at the live streaming of General Championship, they could in case get motivated and participate in such General Championship events.
Soumya did not get my question. Soumya, my question was, have you considered the repercussions of this initiative? You haven't considered the repercussions and you are considering it.
Sir, I believe these are not the repercussions, these are the advantages of such live streaming of these events.
Soumya, it is an advice that you should look after the repercussions of this initiative and then recorrect it.
Thank you for your suggestions. I will also take them into account.
Soumya, on your first proposal, I see that you need to introduce a new newsletter. We already have Awaaz here and they are doing a very commendable job, I think, in my opinion. Why do you want to introduce a new newsletter? Won't be a problem?
Sir, I believe Awaaz IIT Kharagpur does a commendable work in producing such newsletter, but through the technology students Gymkhana, I would produce an unbiased newsletter which would consider the testimonials from various judges and also various judges.
Are you trying to say that Awaaz publishes a biased viewpoint?
Let's not interrupt.
No?
Excuse me.
Are you trying to say that Awaaz publishes a biased viewpoint?
Let the panelists have his follow-up.
Have you heard my answer carefully? I never mentioned that Awaaz produces a unbiased.
I am so sorry to interrupt. But I asked the question, let him answer my question first completely. Please refrain from interfering in between. Please, I'm respecting you for this, but please, yeah.
I request the panelists to be calm. Let's continue.
That candidate was faking the figures in soap. Please, the candidate was faking the figures in soap.
I just now called on the number that he had mentioned in the screenshot and verified that that Neetu Dubey has not made any kind of promises and that he was falsely stating that he has contacted. Moreover, there were no conversation regarding the budget.
So it's fine that you put this part in the student body, let them decide what are the consequences. Please. Let's continue, let's focus. Let's continue. We're asking some questions. You can continue.
Are you trying to say that Awaaz publishes the biased viewpoint?
I would again like to repeat my answer that I never mentioned Awaaz produces a biased opinion.
Soumya, the General Championship and the Open IT is already packed up and you're planning to introduce 2 new events. How do you plan on doing this?
Sir, first of all, I would like to bring to your consideration that the events in Open IITs are changing and new events can be introduced. While as come for the General Championship Social and Cultural, we are heading towards making it in the format of inter-IIT cultural meet.
You did not understand my question. In your proposal, you are planning to introduce 2 new events. How are you planning to accommodate them given the current scenario?
Sir, as I would like to bring to your consideration that this year street play was conducted and short filmmaking was conducted and they have been introduced in the General Championship Social and Cultural.
But
sir, let me complete my answer. The thing is that these events have been introduced in the General Championship. So there is a spot of 2 new events in the General under Open IIT.
The events were introduced in the Open IT.
Aman will have just, if you want to have a follow-up, we'll have a single follow-up. That's it. Just a single follow-up. If you want, you can have a single follow-up.
The event which was introduced this time when Open IT occurred, it replaced the Open IT Dramatics event. So if you are planning to introduce 2 new events, you'll have to replace 2 old events. So are you planning to replace more events?
Sir, I clearly mentioned in the previous answer that I am planning to remove short filmmaking and street play as they have been already included in the General Championship Social and Cultural.
Open IT is the platform for the first and second years to practice for the General Championship. You cannot remove those 2 events from the Open IT.
Will not have any follow-up. The candidate, please answer this question.
Sir, as for this fact, stand-up comedy and mono act are also new events. So, first and second year students would also get a new platform for participating in these events.
You can have your question, please.
I do not have a question right now. I want to address the audience. I share your enthusiasm. It's great to see your enthusiasm. But this is not an open house. If you have any question, please pass it on to me. I'll be very happy to oblige you. But let the candidates and others speak and have a very clear communication going on here. Thank you.
Please, continue.
Soumya, coming to the proposal where we have discussed about introducing the mono act and the stand-up comedy. So like this has been the proposal of the General Secretary Social and Cultural for so many years, but it hasn't been implemented yet. So what was the reason why this stand-up comedy is not yet implemented? And if so, how have you planned to tackle those situations when you are elected as the General Secretary Social and Cultural?
Sir, I believe there were many proposals regarding the stand-up comedy, but in the previous years, it was not implemented due to some subcommittee meeting decisions. But this year, as it has been in the inter-IT cultural meet, and we want to inculcate this culture in our campus, that's why I plan to introduce it in the General Championship and the Open IT events.
Coming to the second part of the question, like how are you planning to introduce it in the Open IT or in the General Championship event? I would like to know.
Sir, as you can clearly read from my proposal that I have contacted the General Secretary Social and Culture regarding the same, and also the contingent leader of Mr. Utkarsh of Inter-IT Culture Meet, Mr. Utkarsh Sinha, and they are all supportive about it. Also, I have contacted Rishabh Gupta, the founder of Punchline, that is the stand-up comedy group of IIT Kharagpur.
What have you? We'll have a single follow-up. I think we'll have one last question for this candidate. We'll have one last question on any of the proposals.
Soumya, you have stated that you want to start introduce events, namely mono act and stand-up comedy in Open IIT, right? So can you name 5 people who practice the act of stand-up comedy?
Sir, you can contact the people of various dramatic societies. I think they would be capable of performing a mono act in such Open IIT events.
Soumya, follow-up question.
There is a follow from the panelists as well.
A follow-up question for this, as he asked you to name a few people, can you name a few people in campus who organized stand-up comedy in the past few years, independently, apart from any contribution from the societies or Gymkhana?
Ma'am, I believe Mr. Rishabh Gupta organized various open mics in IIT Kharagpur regarding stand-up.
Okay, thank you, Soumya. You can take your seat.